Hello and welcome to Game Soup with Chloe and Kayla. This is a game design podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what's cooking. I'm Kayla and I'm back. How's it going, Chloe?
It's good. We had a nice little break without you. Made some good games. Yeah. It's just going to be me and Lisa now, sorry.
I was viciously replaced.
You were being a birthday girl.
I was, yeah. We have not done a record together since UK Games Expo because our last record was before then. And then we gave ourselves a single day in the week where we could record. We were like, we can record on Tuesday. No other day worked. You were busy with work. One day was my birthday. I had birthday plans. I'm now recording this podcast as a 30-year-old woman. And then I can't remember why, but I think I was still just too worn down from the con to record on Tuesday. My throat was still shot from having talked very loudly, having drank a fair bit. But yeah, I had a good convention. I wrote a blog post with a lot of my reflections on the con, which has a bit of a weird non-linear order.
Yeah, I did read that, and it was a strange read. Let's say that.
I think it's an interesting read. I think it's not my fault that my blog posts are too literary and challenging for you.
It's poetry. It's prose poetry, basically.
I don't think it's that pretentious, but yes, it has an odd order, as it's a bit about how I'm recovering, how I found a first con as a wheelchair user. How was your convention, before I complain about something that came after the con?
I thought it was pretty good. I was exhausted the whole weekend. I couldn't do a lot of the hanging out stuff that I wanted to do. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I almost fell asleep driving the car on the way back home. But apart from that, good.
Yeah. No, I think figuring out your capabilities at a con and also figuring out how best to
it was our first
those where you want.
It was our first, just the two of us, me and Lisa, so we didn't really have the support net that we're used to. Oh, Chloe, you look like you're about to fall asleep. Go take 4 hours elsewhere. There was none of that available.
Yeah, it is a sort of different thing. Obviously, I think in that respect, probably my con was a little easier than yours, because we had a third person, because we hired Laurie's brother to do some work for us. But even so, I still found it very difficult. I think, to some extent, I do wonder if the way I've done cons before has contributed to the low energy I can sometimes have. Now, I feel like I'm still exhausted from this con because Birmingham is a city built on a roller coaster.
Yeah, to be fair,
a haunted roller coaster.
Holidays and everything since, so that will have contributed to your.
Yeah, but it's fine because on my holidays I can manage because my boyfriend will just push me around on them.
True. You sent me a message that was oh, and he's just pushing me around all the time, and it's normally this would be a red flag, but
it's a line I love, and many of my friends do not love when I say this. But you know who, funnily enough, does also love this joke? My boyfriend. I think it's fine. I think it would be worse if he hated the joke and I kept saying it to people. If he was like, please stop saying I push you around. Whereas he's just like, that's so funny. But yeah, no, so that, I've tried to be resting, but I have also done things because I still chose to celebrate my birthday. And I took a nice little day trip with my boyfriend for that. I did an escape room with some friends on the day itself. But I have still feel like I've been in a lot of con recovery. I've not done much work in the sort of week and a bit since the con ended, which is fine. But I sort of, I was hoping eventually I'd get to rest up a bit more I'd feeling more recovered back to like my baseline, which is obviously a lot lower than other people's, but I'd then get back onto things and feel better. And now I'm getting evicted. So that's great. I had loved that I'd got to a point in my life where I didn't feel like I was actively having to fight a threat to my quality of life. So I'm sure I've missed that, you know. I was out of the game, out of practice. I am actually fine. I'm talking about it on the podcast, which means I am feeling very like calm about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, look out for maybe a moving sale or something at some point.
You have people you can bunk up with. It worst comes to worst, so
yeah. The annoying thing, obviously, it's like this will also be the first time. I said the last time I moved was the first time I had to do a move while being physically disabled, and I was like, oh god, that was the worst move I did.
Yeah.
And there are lots of ways this move could be better once I sort it out, but this will also be the first time I've had to look for a house with a very conscious recognition of the fact that I'm disabled and also that I have accessibility needs that are not met in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't need to turn the podcast into that things, but like it'll be fine. There is plenty of time for it. My journey back from the con was fun.
I've not heard about this. I know your journey to the con was horrid, but whatever.
No, my journey to the con. Wow. Okay. No, my journey to Birmingham itself was great. I got a free first class train.
Yeah, but you missed the train that you were meant to be on.
Yeah, but I knew that was going to happen. Like, I had a lot of warning, and the ticket I had to let me get on another train, so I was not stressed about that. Like, I had to pick up estrogen in the morning. That errand was running long, but like I had so much warning about the fact that could run long. I was always like, there's a chance I'm getting a later train. I took a leisurely pace to get there. I got a free first class train down. That was fine. Trying to get to our accommodation to check in and then get back to the con was like so destructive, and was probably the reason I'm still recovering from the con. It wasn't really anything I did at the con itself where I think I managed a lot of stuff well. It was trying to navigate the city, which I then didn't do for the rest of the thing. I only ever really got lifts, which is my lesson for next con. I'm not navigating the city. But yeah, the way back was way worse because I didn't in both directions, I didn't book passenger assistance because I had an open off-peak return. I knew I could get any train, and then I didn't know exactly what one we were going to get because it was going to be like, when are we finished? Then what's the next train? And I'm allowed to do that. All non-disabled people get to do that. So
yeah,
it's like not actually a crime.
Anytime shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's not actually a crime for me to have not given people like a massive warning that I'm coming. Sure, it can make things easier, but also in this case, not doing that made things easier for me. I get there and they're just immediately like, ooh,
It's like you don't have to phone ahead for the bus, do you? Like, no, they just put the ramp down.
No, you don't have to phone ahead at all. Like it
That's
can
what I'm saying.
help.
Like, you just have to fucking do your job.
Yes, it's a thing I'll say. Like, is this the episode where the Game Soup Curlies just complain about public transport workers? They've had it too good for too long. No, but like genuinely, I feel like as a wheelchair user, I have to interact with passenger assistance trains, and I notice easy differences between places where that's good. I mean, individual stations at this point, places where that's good, and places where like they look at you like you have just like thrown fucking dog shit at them just by showing up. And I'm sort of like, I can like with things like some people with bus drivers even are just so like afraid of any confrontation, which I will get into more because they seem very like put out by this, but I'm just like, yeah, just get a ramp out for the next train, put us on the next train. That's what ticket lists. There is also another wheelchair user there, which is fine because this train has not only got one spot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like on the way up, if there's two wheelchair users and there's only one spot in standard class. That's how you get the free first class update. So that's another
okay.
great reason to not book passenger assistance, I'll just be honest. But there's another Witcher user. We're going to both get put on the same thing. We get stalking because she was also on her way back from the con. So in this adventure, I did make a friend.
Nice.
So before I say anything else, let's remember that at the very least, I made a friend. The train pulls in, and there's loads of people. There's loads of cyclists occupying all of the wheelchair seats. And at first, the passenger assistant guys are like, damn, nothing we can do.
What do you know? Try again.
And yeah, the person I met there is like, no, we have priority. And they're like, really? She's like, yes, I could quote the exact law saying how we have priority over cyclists and you need to ask them to move. They're like, I don't know if we can ask them to move. Which is like, you definitely
And I'm telling you, you have to ask them.
This is the thing with so many things where it's like even bus drivers or sometimes petrol assistance people, where it's like, no, there is an order of priority and you are required to ask them to move. And you're afraid of doing that because you're afraid of conflict, which I can understand being afraid of conflict. But unfortunately, I think if you're afraid of conflict, that's too fundamental a part of these jobs.
Yeah,
for you to do that
work. Yeah.
Like,
It's like, I go to work at the cinema, I have to expect to be shouted at about prices being too high, you know?
I'd argue that's a thing where you don't have to expect that. But the fact that, like, you may have to ask someone to move is a thing you have to expect. The fact that they may, unfortunately, be a weird dick about it is unfortunate, but that's on them, and you don't get to screw me over by not asking them to move.
Yeah.
Eventually they put her on, and they're saying, oh, we're going to have to get you on the next one. And she from the bus being like, no, you have to get her on this one too. You can ask the other cyclists there to move. So that was very helpful because, to be honest, I think it was just me. I'd have struggled to argue and advocate for myself. I think, obviously, if it was just me and Laurie, I think Laurie would have been able to do a good job, but he wouldn't necessarily have had the knowledge, neither do I, to be able to quote regulations in the same way. I get put on the bus, but they still have not asked a cyclist taking up 4 seats to move. They just put me in the alleyway where they are not supposed to, not the alleyway, but like the bit right by the doors, which can be damaging to a chair to be shaken about like that. Could be bad for me if anything happens. And me and the person I met, whose name was Ree, are just having a very loud conversation complaining about the passenger assistance, which kind of prompts other passengers to realize, hey, why is this random cyclist taking up 4 seats?
Yeah.
They start like having a go at this guy, being like, hey, you need to move for that wheelchair user. He's just like, what?
Huh?
It's like, yeah, it's just common courtesy, mate. We do think, by we just mean people I talk to, like Laurie, Ree, stuff, that this guy clearly must have been like high out of his mind.
Oh, right.
Which I'd argue not the best time to get on a bike and then get on a train.
Well,
I, as much as the next woman, especially the next woman with chronic pain, love getting high out of my mind. I don't then think, I think this is a great time to go ride a bike onto a train.
for a busy city.
He has to be talked through how to move out. And he does that.
Fucking hell.
Very loudly complaining about the guy. There's a point where this is a very crowded train. Like, with some sympathy to other people here, this is a very crowded train. I get why people are like, oh, I don't want to ask people to move. You still have to. I get why sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to eat breakfast. You unfortunately still have to do it. He, at one point, the cyclist guy, the villain of the train, I will say, it is so fun to be in a public place and identify the villain of that public space.
Everyone's on your side that this guy is the villain.
Yeah. Tries to get to the bathroom at one point, stumbles about. When he gets back, is still sort of struggling out, complains about, oh, it's so crowded. And I just very loudly say, yeah, man, it's fucking awful when you can't get to somewhere you want to be, ain't it? And the genuinely open laughs at a man. Some people at least try to stifle a laugh like a fucking corpsing actor, but many other just open laughs at a man. So that is my journey back from the UK Games Convention. What an adventure. I was talking with Laurie where he was saying, like, do you ever think you should go back to stand up now that you're in a wheelchair because of, like, just how many things you get out of, like, public transport now?
It'd be false advertising.
Oh, disability on disability crime. How dare you?
So this is usually a game design podcast. We're 15 minutes in. We should probably design a game.
We're talking about a games convention. I think we're in the clear. But what else did you do at UK Games Expo?
At UK Games Expo, on the few breaks I had, I went around and did some attack podcasting as usual. And nobody seemed to be up for it, honestly. It was lots of having to explain it to people and like, oh, can I ask my boss to do it? And how much do I need to say? It's like, girl, I'm giving you free advertising.
Yeah. I get it. I sometimes have talked to people, I've seen you explain it to people, or heard the audio and gone, I think you did not explain this well enough, to be honest. From my end, I'm sometimes like, they sound very confused about what they're doing. And like the one time I did it, I feel like there wasn't as much confusion, is all I'm saying.
Well, I guess you have to do it next time, yeah?
Nah.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
Do we want to dive into this because of the journeys in public transport taking us up?
So yes, we will match two words together. We'll go with the two at the top first. So we'll listen to this first one now.
We're live at UKGE 2025. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Konstantinos Manos. I'm the CEO of Vesuvius Media. We're a company that we love games. We love games that have a little bit of a twist inside. So our most successful games have dexterity components, like our Catapult Feud, where you just build castles and throw boulders to each other, trying to destroy the other person's castle. Or To Glory, which is a pirate game, which is a pick-up and delivery with a twist, where you can actually get to flick cannonballs to the other players, trying to knock down their pirate captaincy to earn more points, more glory points, to see who's gonna win.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Can you give me your one-word prompts, please?
One word. No, so let's go with Catapult.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, boss.
Oh, love that boss at the end.
I've just started calling people boss and chicken hun and everything, so
I think it works for you.
Yeah.
I think it's like I a few years ago began like reintegrating babes into my vocabulary.
I've noticed that.
Trying to get in touch with my inner Essex girl. Catapult's a great first word. I'm gonna mute again and go listen to the second one.
Yeah, let's go.
We're live at UKGE 2025. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Marcus Evans. I run a stall called Nuts About Magic, which is all things vintage magic from sealed boosters, and the one-word prompt has to be magic.
Thank you very much, Annie.
All right. Magic catapults.
It's called a trebuchet.
Well, no, our word was catapult.
I know, a magic catapult. It's like a cannon, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is it. I feel we first should define what a magic catapult is. Because I'm thinking it's either one of two things. It's either a catapult that is sort of defying the laws of physics, or it is a case that you are catapulting magic loads.
Yowza.
Done. But no, actually, no, maybe this is something about you are catapulting... No, I feel I had an idea there, and then I'm like, I was gonna say you're catapulting like magic sort of almost like bundles of like packages into walled off city, but then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do a walled off city game right now. But no, I like either like catapults that like are defying. Maybe the magic catapults you through different dimensions.
Yeah. No, I like that, yeah. And it's like you desperately trying not to just make every game we've ever made on Game Soup, but...
Well, what I was thinking here is maybe it is a case that like you are catapulted to different dimensions, and then in those different dimensions you need to construct a new catapult. But to try and construct a new catapult, it needs to be constructed like magic. It's not like you need like, okay, yep, you need your two sticks and the big rope. It's like, okay, no, you're needing something almost like a fucking like wedding list where it's like, yeah, you need something from this era. Something like physical.
Blue, that shit. Yeah, so
you need something that is about like what someone's emotional connection to this dimension. And then you're also needing something from like one of you that can anchor you to where you are going back. It's like, yeah, in each dimension, you have some objectives to construct a catapult. That's also building like the dice for your almost like engagement roll, where it's like, do you get to be catapulted home, or are you getting flung to another dimension that's nearby?
Yeah.
It's
less
with getting home.
Yeah, it's less multiverse shit and more like Fringe.
Yeah, I think it's more like other dimensions where it's like, oh, they even like start to function differently. It's not like, whoa, in this universe, your mum was Spider-Man. It's more like, oh, this world is upside down. Like gravity doesn't work straight in this universe, or it's like, oh, in this universe, everyone speaks in song. Like, you're not seeing counterparts or stuff. I think it's more like, oh shit, you're in the 7th dimension where all promises are binding and all lies are fatal.
Yes.
I think Magic... Do we have a fun name for Magic Catapult?
It's giving me Tchuubos, so I want to call it Tchuubo's Magic Catapult.
I don't think Jenna Moran is litigious, but also this is just doing... I was actually just about to go like Catapultiverse.
I'm writing down Tchuubo's Magic Catapult. I don't know what to call you.
Yeah, I feel this is going back to your argument of the podcast will be better the more and more copyright infringing we get, or plagiaristic we get.
The more people we annoy, the more people listen.
I don't think that's true.
It's basically tabloid rules.
Nah, but you're forgetting you need to get, like, defenders in first. Like, you need to get people who are going to go to back in the comment sections going like, Chloe and Kayla, just tell it like it is. Like, it's why you need the pivot first. You need a bit of an audience and then crash them into saying girls. But okay, you've got Tchuubo's Magic Catapult.
Okay, I'll spell it with a T, so it's a different character. TCH-Ubos.
I like just having what I've read of Tchuubo's. My thing is, I'm like, is it giving Tchuubo's? I don't know if it is.
Oh, I don't know, dude. It's so dense a book. I couldn't get through that shit.
I think you just went, sounds confusing. I was confused by Tchuubo's too. Getting a lot of Tchuubo's vibes from this.
Guy who's read one RPG.
Yeah. I'm going to mute and go to our next one so we can jump to another game in this one.
Let's go.
Well, live at UKGE 2025, please introduce yourself.
I'm Ant from Team Custard Kraken, and we've got a game on Kickstarter called Whiz and Bang. General premise of this game, you're a grumpy old wizard that's trying to build the perfect tower on the perfect hill. The only problem, every other wizard trying to do the same. So it's got a bit of take that, it's got a bit of meeple distribution, some action distribution, a bit of spell casting, tower building. It's got a little bit of everything. We've kind of designed it as a sort of a casual family game with a decent amount of strategic depth in order to appeal to, let's say, a more sort of strategic level of board gamers. So we describe it as like a valuable filler, shall we say. It takes about 30 minutes to play, the kind of game that once you played it a couple of times, you get through it in about 15 minutes. And I'll be honest, we're very proud of it. This, full disclosure, this was my COVID baby. So this is the one I came up with during that. And now we've finally got to a point where let's get it out to the world. Let's get it on Kickstarter. Let's start showing people this thing. And we're very pleased with how it's vibing. If you get the chance, check out the trailer. We spent like 8 months of our life learning animation to create this musical trailer. And it's glorious. Check it out.
It looks really cool. I might have to pick up a copy.
Awesome. I mean, currently £18 on Kickstarter with free shipping.
Well, can you give me your one-word prompts, please?
Pickle.
Pickle. Thank you very much, Annie.
Pickle. So, with pickle as our first word, praying to God, the next word we get is not Rick.
Well, live at UKGE 2025, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Josh. I'm here from Dice Dragons. We've got a range of dice and dragon-themed accessories today with us. And my one word is sparkle.
Thank you very much.
pickle and sparkle. We have had the word pickle before, and I do feel it came from attack podcasting before.
Probably, yes.
Not from the same person, but I've said the observation before that, like, food starts showing up if you record, like...
Literally, as part of my introduction, I was like, we used to do it at the end of conventions, but then everyone just kept saying foods because they were so hungry. So now I'm doing it, like, in the afternoon of the last day, like, in the morning of the last day, so not everybody's like, oh my god, I just want to eat sausages.
Can't believe you'd call that Eric Peregrine Press.
I couldn't remember if it was... I didn't know it was Eric. Oh my god.
Eric, who has given us the word sausage twice.
Well...
But in different cons, which is the reason I remember that, because it amuses me.
Then I think it's a valid call-out.
Pickle and... Was it glitter or gloss?
Sparkle.
Pickle is a hard word for me, as I don't eat pickles or any pickled things.
I think you play as a person who has invented the perfect pickling brine, and now you decide you're going to pickle everything you can bloody well do, and you are running a shop, maybe, trying to sell people these pickled everythings.
I like that idea. I have just, because I was like, man, what do I even know about pickles and brines? And then I was like, I remember once going to some kind of museum or something, maybe it was in Portsmouth, like seeing a boat, where they talked about like a dead captain who didn't want to be buried at sea, so they like had to pickle his body to get it back to sea. And now I've thought of a game. It's a Weekend at Bernie's-esque game where your two stats are pickle and sparkle. You are having to escort your dead captain back so that they can give you a commendation. And so you're needing to alternatively like roll pickle to like try and preserve the body as much as possible, and then roll sparkle to dress it up before you ever have to do like, it's me, Captain Alive! Why, these two boy privates are some of the best sailors I've ever known.
Captain Alive, you're looking very green around the gills there.
No, that's just my new blouse. You see, these two... Why, I did call them boy privates, but I know at least one of them is a Leahy. They've taught me all about... they've taught me all about glow-ups. Oh, yes. And is that why there's the salty smell of you, Captain Alive? Yeah, your stats are glitter and sparkle and pickle. Captain Alive.
Captain Very Alive. Very is his first name.
Very A.Live.
Yes.
I think that's a game done in one, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's one of those games.
Yeah.
It's the pitch, it's the mechanic, and then it is you play less if you're good enough at it, want to just improvise fucking stupid characters.
Yeah.
We do have 4 more things, but we are, close to our sort of half an hour mark. What do you want to do with this episode?
I'm happy to call it there, so that we can do another week of Attack Podcasting next week.
Yeah, we will be continuing our UKGE Fallout for this is essentially almost a month of UKGE podcasts when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because we had we're going to the con, we had the Kayla's not here because she's tired from the con, we had the con reacts and Attack podcasting. So come back next week for more from the con.
It's good con.
In the
come
meantime,
on down next year.
If you subscribe to my Patreon this month, which you can find via my website at rightwave.uk, I should say I'm adding Out of the Fold and other stories up on my web store this month. And when I do that, I'm going to be releasing a £100% discount voucher to patrons at the tenner and above tiers on the... So yeah, come into my Ratwave Game House. I don't think that's what I'm calling the Patreon. It's not the name on it, but every now and then I'm like, maybe I should bring that. No one remembers the Game House bit in general, but maybe like it could be part of... Well, every now and then I do a live podcast of like Life Path, and I say, "Welcome to my titular Ratwave Game House," and people are like, "What?" And I'm like, "That's the full name of the company." And they're always like, "I just think of you as Ratwave Games," or sometimes just Kayla Ratwave. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to Game Soup.